want to share a very powerful pro-life story I just heard on a YouTube video. It was actually a conference that I had attended, but I missed that particular speaker. But now through the miracle of technology, I'm able to quite easily hear the speaker. I heard this, it was Rabbi Aryeh Levine, who was a Rav in New York, and also he was a professor of Gemara, of Talmud at YU. It's a story about Rabbi Aryeh Levine, not someone who I generally talk about, although I did visit his kever when I lived in Yerushalayim and davened there. It was well known, a beloved tzaddik. He did come from the religious Zionist camp. It's not necessarily my camp, but just because it's a different camp doesn't mean we can't share stories. We're all one Klal Yisrael. There was just an aside. I don't know. I remember hearing a story. There was a fellow. He had converted to Judaism. He was very sincere, and he asked the rabbi. He said, "I'm just trying to make a decision. Should I become ultra Orthodox or modern Orthodox?" And the rabbi said, "You're becoming Jewish." Maybe he said, "Should I become Haredi or a religious Zionist, whatever?" He said, "You're becoming Jewish. You're becoming part of Klal Yisrael. Those other things don't really matter that much." It's the same thing. There's a big tzaddik, Rabbi Aryeh Levine, from Yerushalayim, and the story goes that when Menachem Begin was the prime minister, there was a economic depression in Israel, and I think it was the health minister or the finance minister, his name was Shmuel Tamir. He got annoyed. All these rabbis, they think they know everything and they boss everybody around, and unfortunately the people listen to them, and people they can't afford. The state can't afford to have a bigger population, this and that. And women, they want to get abortions. They go and ask the rabbi. The rabbi says no, unless it's life or death, But they don't consider these financial considerations and things, life and death. So the Shmuel Tamir, he approached Rabbi Aryeh Levine, not to ask him something, basically to tell him something. He said, all due respect, Rabbi, that's the way people talk, you think you know everything, don't you have any compassion? These women, they're suffering. These families, they can't afford to put food on the table, and you won't let them have abortions? What's wrong with you? And so Rabbi Aryeh Levine, he said, it's interesting you ask me that, because I remember, I don't know, some 40 years ago or so, there was a couple who approached me with the same question. They already had one child, young married couple, but they were still in college, whatever, and they said, could they terminate this pregnancy because they can't afford another child, And I said, you have to realize, not only from a halachic standpoint, from an ideological standpoint, God put a soul into this child, and a mission for this child to fulfill. So how are you going to answer if God had a plan that this child needed to answer to this mission, and you're going to deprive the world of this soul that has a mission in life to fulfill? So Shmuel Tamir, he smugly, he said, "Oh, yeah, Rabbi, did he did this baby fulfill its mission in life?" So Rabbi Levine looked at him and he said, "Shmuel, you're the only one who can answer that, because those were your parents and that baby was you."